Thank you to organizing committee. The major ABO income, why we need it? Because around 30% of the random donor and recipient pairs, they have incompatibility, ABO incompatibility. So options, either wait or go for a swap kidney transplant. So we can expand the donor pool by using the ABO incompatible and to cross the ABO barriers. Started in early 15 and 60s, not good results with high failure rate and very poor graft survival. So, what we need in these patients is desensitization, removal of preformed antibodies, and immunomodulation. Removal of preformed ABO blood group antibodies is either by plasma exchange, double filtration, plasmapheresis, cascade plasmapheresis, and another option is immunoadsorption. So this is basically is plasma exchange. If you use membrane, you can use centrifugal. Double filtration is membrane plus membrane. Cascade is you use the centrifuge technique plus membrane, and then is the plasma adsorption. These are non-selective, double filtration semi-selective, and plasma absorption is selective. So first, you want to use plasmapheresis. What is the decided target IgG levels? Varies from groups to groups. In Japan, they less than 1 is to 32. John Hopkins less than 1 is to 16. Mayo less than 1 is to 8. And what over recommendations of Indian working group is to reach a titer of 1 is to 16 before proceeding with the transplant. The, the plasma exchange pros most utilize and reliable methods, but non-specific removal of the antibodies and coagulation factors also. First, you have to decide how much plasma you want to remove. The method is in men, plasma volume 0.07 into weight into 1 minus hematocrit, and for women it is 0.065. How much plasma volume you want to do? 1 to 1.5 per session. What you will achieve if you use 63% removal of the isoglutamines, one with 1.5 78, and with 2 plasma volume almost 86%. So how does it works? This you take blood pump, plasma filter, plasma pump waste, and replacement fluid is with this. So this is membrane plex. This is the centrifuge plex. What is used in membrane plex? There is a hollow fiber plasma filters with highly permeable membrane, and it separates the plasma from blood components based on pore size of the membrane. And the centrifuge is there is a centrifuge which non-selectively separate the plasma from the rest of the blood based on density and centrifuge force. How much plasma exchange needed according to the titers? Roughly, we want to achieve 1 to 16. If the baseline titer is 32, 1 to 2, 64, 2 to 3, for 128, 3 to 4, 256, 4 to 5, and for 5 to 5 to 6, and more than 5 to more than 6 are needed. This is a rough estimate. You can tell to the patient when he comes in your clinic. It is not absolute. Some patient they not at all respond to the plasmapheresis. Now comes to the double filtration plasmapheresis. What is this? Blood pump initial, there is a plasma filter. That plasma pump that remove the plasma enter into the plasma component separated. What does it do? It keeps the plasma fraction into low molecular weight substances such as albumin, and high molecular weight substances such as plasma along with target molecules, which is discarded. So double filtration plasmapheresis used in initially 2000. This was initially this was published in 2000. And what is the benefit? Almost 60% of the 2% of the albumin returned back, 19% of the IgG, and 0% IgM is returned back. Basically, what is Indian experience? I could find from there is a paper from the Medanta group by Dr. Vijay Khetser team, and they have used it successfully in almost 20 patients. And this is the machine, and this is the plasma fractionator. This is the centrifuge machine, and this is the plasma fractionator. And what is the benefits? It's selectively removal of the antibodies, minimum hemodynamic stability, greater efficiency, and but more technical staff is required. So difference between you want to choose, both removes the high molecular weight proteins, but therapeutic plasma non-selectively, removal components all plasma component in plasma exchange, but high molecular weight proteins in double filtration plasmapheresis. Efficacy equally effective, safety more, double filtration is more having low risk of hypovolemia, and cost, it is higher cost per session. Now comes to the most selective method, consisting of, that is absorption column, which consists of synthetic terminal trisaccharide blood group A or B antigens covalently linked and immobilized on a Saffros matrix. So one is glycosorb, pioneered in Sweden. Blood group A or B antigens covalently linked to a Saffros matrix, and separate columns exist for anti-A, anti-B, or AB columns. This is another thing in the market. It developed in Russia, used immobilized synthetic oligosaccharide analog of A and B antigens to capture isoagglutinins. So what's the claim? It is single use, no upper limit of plasma volume treatment, most commonly used amino adsorption column worldwide. Maximum plasma flow rate is 50 ml per minute. Reusable, they claims 20 times. After 1.5 plasma volume in a single session, they again regenerate the things. Data regarding efficacy lacking. So how to use glycosorb? Prime the column with isotonic saline, run the session, you have planned dose, 8 plasma volume, post-run flush column to clean patient's plasma. And the adsorpacks we have used in some patients to, after 1.5 plasma volume, you have to again regenerate the thing with all this. So with amino adsorption column, what will happen? You basically separate the plasma, blood components enter to then, and plasma enters into the amino adsorption column and then return back. This is how you have to parallelly set two machines. This is plasma filter, this is amino adsorption column, and we connect it like this. Now the thing is, can we reuse of glycosorbs? What is the available data? The Sweden groups itself said that you can reuse. They have reused in almost 71 patients, and they found there is a cost saving and effectiveness was same. This is the paper from our center where we have reused in almost 16 patients, and we found that the reuse up to 2 times shows efficacy in successful reduction of antibody titers, and column reuse was not associated with any significant side effects. So efficacy of amino adsorption column in log titer reduction is around 4 logs after the first use, 3 logs after first reuse, and after 1.5 logs after 2 reuses. After 2 reuse, it is almost ineffective. So you can best is after first reuse, and then little bit benefit after second reuse. So cost comparison is almost the same, if 30 to 40,000 per plasma session, and the single use is around 2.4 lakhs, but minimum side effects. So what is Indian working group recommendation where you should use amino adsorption column when the antibody titer is more than 1:128? How we have reused, what's the method? After each use, the column is flushed with 1 liter of normal saline. Subsequently, it is sterilized with ethylene oxide at 55 degrees Celsius. column is labeled and kept in the dark place at 2 to 8 degrees Celsius for at least 12 hours before the reuse. Before the next use, the label is checked and visual inspection was done to look for any break, discoloration or visual clot. Before connecting to the circuit, the column is flushed with 1 liter of normal saline. This is the method which we have adopted in our center for the reuse of glycosol column. So, now the question arises, is plasmapheresis is better or immunodroption is better? So, in this paper, meta-analysis, they said that after plasmapheresis, the graft survival was inferior. But what we have done analysis in over almost 250 patients, we have found that the immunodroption, or whether you use plasmapheresis to reduce the titers, does not have a very much difference in the outcome. I just want to touch this. We are talking about IG. Is IgM is important or not? Even despite low antibody titers, why there is a rejection? Is IgM is one of the reasons. A recent paper which shows that if IgM titers are high, there are more chances of TMA in these patients. And IgM is itself associated with TMA and antibody-mediated rejection. So the question is, should we give equal importance to IgM to prevent TMA and antibody-mediated rejection, or solely we give importance to the IgG? Decision regarding, to summarize, decision regarding immunoadoption versus plasmapheresis should be made according to baseline and target titer availability and the cost. For low baseline titer, plasmapheresis or double filtration is procedure of choice. Immunoadoption is cost effective when baseline exceeds more than 1:128. Reuse of immunoadoption column is safe, efficient, and effective. Thank you very much.